Hey there, and welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into the incredible life of Nelson Mandela. We've got this great biography as our source material.
Yeah, and our plan is really to pull out the key stuff, the big insights, maybe some details you haven't heard, sort of a shortcut to understanding the man.
Okay, so let's start right at the beginning. Mvezo, rural village, and his birth name, Rolilala.
Right, which translates sometimes as troublemaker.
Huh? Yeah, seems fitting in hindsight.
Definitely. And that early grounding in Thembu culture, his father's leadership role, it really shaped his ideas about justice even then.
Then came formal education. Clark Berry, Healdtown, and crucially, Fort Hare University.
Fort Hare. That place was like a real hub for African intellectuals. That's where his political awareness, really sharpened.
Wasn't he suspended from there?
He was, yeah, for protesting campus issues.
Oh.
Shows that resistance streak early on.
So then he moves to Johannesburg. Big city, big changes.
Huge. And that's where he connects with the ANC, meets Walter Sisulu, forms that key partnership with Oliver Tambo. They even started a law firm.
Right. Seeing apartheid's injustice face to face every day.
Exactly. And they pretty quickly decided the ANC needed, more energy. More than just passive resistance.
Which led them to co-found the ANC Youth League.
Yep. Pushing for mass action, more assertive tactics.
But the government response got harsher, especially after things like the Defiance campaign in '52.
It did. Brutal, really. And it forced a massive rethink. Nonviolence wasn't breaking through.
So the difficult decision. Umkhonto we Sizwe. The armed wing.
A really tough call. The source makes that clear. It was reluctant. The idea was strategic sabotage, infrastructure, power lines explicitly trying not to harm people. A necessary evolution, they felt.
That put him right in the government sights, leading to the big trials. Treason trial, then Ravonia.
And at Ravonia, that incredible statement from the doc, an ideal for which I'm prepared to die. Powerful stuff.
And he almost did. Instead, life imprisonment.
27 years. Robben Island, mostly. Horrendous conditions, that lime quarry, damaging his eyesight permanently, isolation, censored letters.
But even there, he led. They called it Robben Island University, didn't they? Sharing knowledge.
They did, and there's this fascinating personal bit in the source about him slowly building a connection with a warden, someone initially quite cruel.
Wow. Sort of a glimpse of that capacity for connection, maybe even forgiveness, way back then.
Perhaps. It definitely hints at understanding the other side, which became so important later.
Which brings us to his release in 1990. After all that time, his focus wasn't revenge, it was peace, reconciliation.
Immediately. Yep. Quite extraordinary. And that led to things like the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, the TRC.
A really unique approach, wasn't it? Truth-telling, amnesty, trying to heal without more conflict.
Exactly. A pragmatic way to confront the past, really aiming for national unity above all else.
And then 1994, President Mandela, the Rainbow Nation.
A huge moment. And his government got straight to work with the Reconstruction and Development Program, the RDP, trying to tackle apartheid's legacy head on.
Housing, education, healthcare.
Yeah.
The basics denied for so long.
A massive undertaking, obviously facing challenges, but a clear signal of building a more equal society.
And you can't talk about unity without mentioning the 1995 Rugby World Cup.
Oh, absolutely. Him wearing that Springbok jersey, that symbol, once so divisive,
became a symbol of everyone belonging. Just an incredible image.
It really was. And even after his presidency, he didn't stop. The Nelson Mandela Foundation work on HIV/AIDS awareness.
Tragically personal for him, too, with his son Magatha.
Yes. His global influence just continued, pushing for peace, education, justice. That Nobel Peace Prize was just one recognition.
So wrapping this up, we've gone from Rolilala, the troublemaker, to a global symbol. What an arc.
An incredible journey. I think the big takeaways are that resilience, the willingness to adapt strategy, and maybe most profoundly, the power of choosing reconciliation.
Yeah, that idea of forgiveness not just as a feeling, but as a tool. It's a strategic choice.
Exactly. So the thought to leave you with, Mandela demonstrated forgiveness as a practical force for change. What could you unlock in your life, your community, if you viewed forgiveness the same way, not just as a nice idea, but as a powerful practical strategy?